Okay. Can you hear me now? I think that it looks like I'm sending audio now and it wasn't before, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, let me know if you can hear sound or not. Oh, you probably can't. Mm. Well, awesome. Okay. Well, then I'll just do a quick recap. Some of you were here Sunday and probably saw this card already. This was a kit that I got as it was the second one of these kits. I made one at the Mingle, which was the event last weekend. And then this one was an extra kit because one person didn't show up. But the maker of the kit said if you use like some sort of scene paper behind this, it makes it look a lot more dimensional, and it definitely does. So this one came out pretty cool. There were 49 kits, some of which I got to, some of which I didn't, and there were two make and takes. So I'm basically trying to organize all my completed cards, but I thought it would be fun to just walk through because, I don't think anyone other than the people who were there live actually saw these. Awesome. Oh, good. You can see it here. Me too. This was a make and take from the Paper Cut, which is a paper company in Appleton. Um, these I colored, but they were actually all these 3 were all printables, but you really can't tell. I mean, I can't tell the difference between stamps and printables these days because, like, if you die cut them or mat them nicely, they look really similar. I don't know. I just did some quick. I didn't bring Copics or anything. I just brought Triberlins because I wanted something easy to deal with. But this is kind of longer because this is 12 and a bit. So, like, if you had like an 11 by 17, you could cut this out a bit, but you could also just cut this out of normal paper, like do a normal A2 card base and then just attach another panel with a flap too, which is probably what I do because I don't really have paper bigger than 12 by 12. But because of the Z fold, it stands up really nicely. So I don't know. I really thought this was a cool one. And they make the paper too. They print it in house essentially. But I think you can see it. It's got a really cool sort of watercolor balloon vibe. But I really like that one. I thought that was one of the, um, both in conception and how it came together. I thought that was one of the more standout cards. And I mean, it gets a little tricky because a lot of these I really like. And here's my extra. This is my kit. Going to be live with Lynn on Saturday, and I'm actually going to be giving away sort of a 3 card bundle. I'm going to give away one of these, one of my trade cards, and then one of the cards I made as part of the KCC 14 live stream hops. I don't know, the KCC numbers just keep going up so quickly. But that's a kit I haven't used. I have a couple addresses for people I need to send thank you notes to. And let's see. Oh, this one's super cute. Okay. I thought this was a fun design. The numbers don't actually matter. Uh Though it's nice because they actually gave us access to a Google Drive with all the instructions. So if you didn't make something, you could do it after the fact. But basically, this is like a little gift card holder. Super easy to make too, right? Because it's just a single piece of paper, extra score line, punch out a little thing. This is a smaller punch than I think I have. But, I thought this was a really good design. It was made by the same person who did this make and take, which is a little bookmark card with just a little origami folding, but this one was pretty cool too. My cat says hello if you hear him meowing in the background. Um, and unfortunately, this is all close to my heart paper, so it's all like going to be obsolete very soon. But I didn't know, I wasn't like, I don't know much about close to my heart, but they had these really cool, they're like rubber stickers. So it's like a chipboard sticker only made out of rubber. And it's really nice because it adds dimension, but doesn't really have like the edge weirdness of chipboard. Anyway, so both of these cards she made, and I was interested that they're both flat cards. They're not a full like A2 card base. But anyway, this is a Newton's Nook stamp. Um, and it's sort of the downside of not doing the kits there is that you kind of wind up with trying to figure out what your own focal image would be. Um, but I kind of feel like, and here's a cat. Excusey, could you please move? Could you please not knock the camera? Thank you. Lennox had to make his appearance. Well, Cordelia, I'm just going through a bunch of cards I made last weekend, and some of them are really cute. Most of them are really cute, actually. I have a 6x6 envelope for some reason. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I don't know where this stamp was from because I think no, this was a mounted stamp, so I don't think this was rubber block. It was really cute. It says, "Wait, you're how old?" Um, I just love the expression on the bird. Again, another flat card. This one's an easel card. There's some foil paper under here. Let me see if I can get the light to catch it. There we go a little bit. So this part's actually foil. I did like this. Still not old enough to know better sentiment. Um, I want to track this paper down as well because I think it's a recollections paper given the weight. I could be wrong, but it's got a really nice like sort of berry color. I don't know. I thought this was. I'm not gonna say that like every card was outstanding, but these have all been outstanding cards. Actually, like there wasn't a single card I didn't like. I think the interesting thing when you go to events where other people are making the kits is that I love that bird too. Yeah, like I think the thing that's interesting when you go when other people are making kits is you get people with different aesthetics, and I think that was kind of the most fun. Oh, I like this design. I put it away in the box. Let me grab it quick. So I was doing a bunch of these with Elizabeth, and I didn't explain how to do this part. So I may explain this on the live. It's a really simple origami fold. All you need is a 5x5 piece of paper, and then you score it in half on each side. So you have basically four thingies. And then you cut one of the squares out. And then with the sort of middle square, you fold it back so that this edge here is a folded edge, but it's really nice. It's really small, but significant enough where I don't think I have a book in front of me, but I think it would be. It's really nice because you can make it look like whatever you want, and then I think it. I don't know. I have a lot of reading friends. I have friends who've been getting into um sort of organized religion more. So a lot of them have been, picking up Bibles and such. So I mean, I think they might be. If I wind up, I don't know if I have any religious stamps, but like if I ever find one that seems appropriate, I'll definitely make that for some of those friends too. And while my sound was off, this was one of the panels I made yesterday. This is one layer of a mini layer Spellbinders geometric stencil. Simon Hurley also has a geometric stencil, but I thought it was really cool how the lighter lunar paste really is metallic, and the heavier areas you really start to get into the neon yellow. Because like if you just, I probably have a swatch, but this is like super duper neon yellow, like more than here we go. I do have a swatch. I think these swatches is kind of handy, but it's this yellow, which isn't looking neon here, but is like yellow highlighter yellow in real life. But the on top of the black, it turned out a lot more subtle. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about my favorite holiday, Halloween. There was only one Halloween card, unfortunately. Um, but it's a fun design. It's, sort of your focal image. I did have to fussy cut poorly the skeleton. I'm sorry. I should have fussy cut in between his legs. I'm kind of sorry I didn't do that. But it's cute. It has a little gatefold. Had some cute little ghosty embellishments that I put over an ink oopsie that I did. And the great best thing about Halloween cards is if you mess them up, like it looks spooky, right? Like this is not correctly stamped, but I was stamping on a block and didn't want to go back and redo it and really screw it up. But I feel like Halloween cards it always looks reasonable when, it doesn't even it looks more noticeable in real life than on the camera, but I don't know. I thought that one was really cool. I had a lot of fun. I have fun with Halloween cards. Although I don't really have many people to send them to, so I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, actually, I have one more I was gonna make, so we can take a mini hiatus and do a quick demo. I was gonna make one with some of this tulips for sale paper because it's a really good way to use up some of your more vibrant patterns. Let me find one that I'm. Well, I like the backside of all of these. That's unfortunate. I like the subtle sides on these a lot more than the not subtle sides, but let's do this one. I think this one would work really well. So we're just gonna we just need to make a 5-inch square, and you could do this with cardstock or pattern paper or whatever. I tend to like the pattern paper personally, 'cause and what I'm gonna do is figure out where the so this was the gummed edge, so I'm definitely gonna cut that off to give it a more even look. Anyway, so I'm just gonna cut it off one way and two ways. And if you have a trimmer that has a scoring function, then you can just keep doing this. So I'm gonna get my blade out of the way, move this to 2.5 inches. Yeah, I was really naughty. I made like three of these last night with Elizabeth. Like I was really not very good. I don't know. I had a hard time paying attention to chat last night because I was just like chatting with Elizabeth and so then I usually reinforce these. So this part is fairly straightforward, I would say. And so you have your score lines, and you want to cut sort of on the outside of the score line. So you get rid of the score line on basically one of these pieces. We're just cutting one of the squares out. And you don't actually need a scoring tool, but I think it makes it a lot easier. And then I'm going to grab the scoring tool I just said you don't need, and I'm going to score this outside. So like there's like two wings, and then the piece is connected to both. You want to score or fold this so that essentially, let me make sure my lines are kind of lined up, just to make it a little easier to fold. So I'm going to do that. And you could decide what you want on the inside and the outside, of course. So, like, if I wanted this to be a busier bookmark, I could have it look like that. But I like the floral quite a bit. So I'm going to so this one, as you can see, this one wound up being a little off. The other way you can do it is just if you put that point in the center. And like this is going to be the inside of the bookmark, so it doesn't have to be like the most pretty thing in the world. And then you just pull then you see that like this, I didn't fully cut the score line out, so I'm just gonna do that again. And yes, I'm using my trashy scissors, which probably was not the smartest of moves. But if you see any weird overhangs, I just trim them out. And then you have your bookmark. You have whatever your this really works nicely with the double-sided pattern paper because you get both sides here. And then I just basically burnish over the whole thing before I start to glue it together. And the easiest way to put this together is with tape, but I don't know. I've been kind of in a wet glue phase lately, but I'll just go and gonna tape the little corner. Actually, let me put my card in the box. So you're gonna tape the little corner and then seal it down, and then we're done. And then you can decide which one of these you want out or tucked in. I kind of like it this way better, so I'm gonna grab my tape again and just tape it. And then you just burnish, burnish, burnish. As my friend Lynn would say, make sure you burnish all the things so that your wet glue or your dry glue sticks. And then, and now we have a floral little corner bookmark. And you can leave this undecorated, like I was doing the circly bits. Yeah, and like you can change the size on this. The nice thing about doing this as with a 2.5-inch side is like this is a standard card panel. So when you put it on, um, this point is almost in the middle, so it makes it really nice if you want to attach something. But you could make this bigger or smaller. You can also cut the flap that I folded over. You can also cut out if you want it to have less bulk. I did one like that, and it was definitely less bulky. And then once you're done, if you see things like this edge that's a little weird, um, you can just sort of go in and trim it out quite easily. But anyway, that's a quick version on those. They're really quick to make, but I actually was using one at work today, and they work really well. Oh, sure. You guys showed up to look at all the fun cards, so I'm always happy to do a little this or a little that. Um, this one is a kit that I have not done. I believe this one actually does it have all the pieces in it? Yeah, but I can I'll show you this because I mostly know how it's not together, obviously, but essentially this is a Z fold, and then you apply a lot of this maroon and this really beautiful floral paper. So it's sort of like the floral paper goes here, and then you make a circular focal point out of some of the remainders. But this is a project to do. The nice thing is everyone puts their project numbers, and those numbers are also on the instructions, so it's pretty easy to go and find them later. Or I mean, I guess I'll say you could go and do a delete and just in figure out what you want to do, regardless of the instruction. This one is also a kit that I haven't fully completed, but I'll show you generally what it is. It's like a partially cut um scallop circle. Says relish the day. What could we be? It is a hamburger themed card. So this is the bun. We have the burger, and then there was a stamp that's from Newton's Nook that's got all these little itty bitty relishes and pizzas and whatnot. But I basically saved this one so that I could color it later. Um, that was sort of a trick that I learned halfway into the first day from one of the ladies who knew a lot more than me, which was everybody. But oh, hey PJB, how are you, Pam? Hopefully you are well. Um, that like if you can do all your stamping there, you can have all the images. But if it's something that's more in depth to color, like you might not want to spend half an hour or an hour coloring. Oh, this one is done. This one was super neat. So I haven't alcohol inks I've never used. And this one it's a really cool cover plate die. It's sort of like stitched circles, but we basically I got to do an alcohol ink background just with it was like a felt dauber, and then you just sort of pounced on things. And the card base itself, I don't know if it doesn't really read on camera, but the card base is pearlescent white, which I like. The top piece is also that way. And then I'm not sure what I've seen scrapbook paper like this, but I know that Michaels and Hobby Lobby has this, but it's almost like a Mylar with like sparklies in it. Oh, hi Janet. I don't know that I saw you come in, but hello. Thanks for greeting everybody, Pam. Feel free to spam me with emojis if I'm missing something. But this one was really fun. Like very simple. Like I think it was even pre-stamped, but it was mostly glued together. But the fun part was doing the alcohol ink background. So now I kind of feel like I should get some Yupo paper and do that. And as you see, some of these have envelopes, others don't. That's because if you were doing any kind of A2 project, it was sort of assumed that you didn't need to provide an envelope. But if you were doing something else, it was assumed that you would provide an envelope. This is another kit. This one is really cool, but I thought I'd show it to you a little bit. It's probably well, I may leave it together. There are so it's a fishing themed card, but there are a whole bunch of lures in it. Lures? However you pronounce that. Maybe I'll show that to you. They're really neat. But the approach was cool. Here's this Goofy Flap. Um, Everything is pre-stamped, which is super nice. Oh no, this is a different card. Never mind. But this is a neat one too. So this has a cat in the rain, and then it came with a die cut umbrella, so it'll be sort of a cat in the rain holding the umbrella once it is fully assembled. But this one I also saved because it was one that had all the pieces in the envelope. There wasn't stamping or anything to do. Not that I mind stamping, but the only difficulty was like you didn't necessarily know until you got into these which ones required a stamping and die cutting and which ones didn't. Anyway, so that goes in the project pile. I really have been loving Kendra's mini kits, so like the fact that I have a bunch of leftover mini kits from this is pretty sweet. This was a cool one. So Stampin' Up! Has a bird punch, or did. So this person thought that making tulips out of the bird wings would be a neat idea, and it really worked out. I wouldn't have thought to use like a teardrop to make tulips out of, but again, this one was a really nice, sort of straightforward card. Has a nice die cut to write on the inside. Um, this was actually in that Michael's Horrible Weight paper that I'm mad that I bought because it's like 40-pound white, and it's like just way too thin for most things. Anyway, this one was a pretty straightforward card. A good bit, basically stamping and then using a punch. But I really liked how it came out. It looks very springy to me. Hey, Martiza. This one was one I made like near the end of day three because it was sort of an all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then this one is funny. Hopefully, it won't get this stream age restricted, but It's a it's a card saying "Oh something," and it was a fan favorite because it was so this was originally a single piece, and then we embossed it to get the clapboards, and then we decorated with brown and did a good bit of alcohol ink coloring of amusing things. Definitely a card that you'd need to send it to the right person. But I thought it was hilarious. I have some friends who would love this. But I believe this was a Simon Says stamp word die, in case you're interested. I do like the little happy, like, quiet toilet paper and like poo emoji. I thought this one was fun. It was a pretty easy card to put together. And uses some torn paper, which isn't really a technique I ever used, but it came up a lot, which is kind of interesting to me. Oh, this is a special one. So this was the top rated card of the attendees, and it's really pretty. It is again. There was a lot of Z folds now that I think of it, but it's really neat because this is actually scored. So like the butterfly will sort of fold in a little bit. I appreciated that they had metallic green for eye colors because butterfly, at least dragonfly eyes are like a very iridescent green. But I really like this. So this is just a square turned, and then you have the corners, and then they used a directional paper, so it really gives you kind of this almost like you used ribbon or something look. I really thought there were a lot of really neat things about this. And that then you have this area too that you could stamp something on. Uh, I like the thank you sentiment. There were some birthday and sympathy ones as well, but again, this stands up, and if it's standing up, you can see how this creates a really pretty like mantle presentation. Anyway, that was one of my favorites. Um, this one there was no stamping on; all the pieces were just there. The other cool thing is a lot of these include measurements, so like I don't even have to like bust out my ruler to case them. That one was really pretty. This one is mostly done, but so the original I'll show you what this one looks like. It was a cool idea. Used a butterfly, except mine didn't fully die cut through, so I just only removed the pieces that wanted to be removed. But there's a nice he restores my soul, and then a nice quote on the back. Um, but there were sort of sunflowers to decorate this, and I have a bunch of Simon Hurley butterflies, so I was thought it would be neat to like bring some blue in here and then put some butterflies on there. So this was one I was gonna hang on to as sort of a card to finish um later, but I really I saw that in a couple cards where you have this sort of partial die cut thing. It's sort of a Z fold, except you partially die cut one of the panels. I think they actually make dies that will do this, and there's trouble on Planet Kitty. But I thought this one was really cool. So that'll go into my finish it later pile. I don't know what the kitties are all up about, but one never knows. Uh, this I made the card for, but it was a really pretty bag, so I hung on to it. I feel like I could use this for something. It has like nice birthday vibes. Because of course all the paper crafters, including me, like are bad at throwing anything away. Oh, this one was adorable. Oh, you didn't hear me because I was muted, but I will let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. Um, let me grab. If you are around on Saturday for Lynn's stream, I'm basically going to be giving away a few of these card prize packs. You have one of my make and takes, which makes a lemon themed card. And I have a video up if you want to see how to use this, but you can probably figure it out. Although it wasn't this one, but a similar one of these I had given somebody and they had totally reinterpreted it. I have a swap card that looks like this. And then I'm going to throw in one of my new KCC 14 cards. So we'll be giving these away on Linstream. I have three of them, which should be kind of fun. I certainly like winning things. So whenever other people can win things, I'm happy about it. Yeah, I thought the butterfly one was awesome. This one is super cute. I think this is a Lawn Fawn stamp. It has Lawn Fawn vibes. I actually made this card wrong. The way you're supposed to make this card is to so the congrats was supposed to be stamped on the inside. I stamped this cute little dog sentiment. I don't know if we have any friends who are dog people. It may be I should probably give this to them. But anyway, this is supposed to be rotated and then the dog sits inside. But I kind of did it this way. And like this was an alternate inside sentiment. So like the front of the card is supposed to just be the dog, not the congrats on your new fur baby. But um I thought it was super cute. And I'm sure some friend of mine is going to get a dog at some point, but I really like this one. This definitely is sort of plays into my cute aesthetic. Oh, okay. Well, there are some of those cards that are yellow. They might find their way to you. Who knows? But this one I thought was this one is like not a complicated card, but I just really I really like the stripe in the pattern paper and more subtle pattern paper because it creates almost like a room. Like this looks like the floorboard, and this looks like the wall, kind of like if your dog had their own room. Which is a cat owner, like I wouldn't be surprised if I moved into a house and my cats had their own room. This was, I think, the one or two of the Christmas cards. There weren't very many, surprisingly. I think at an April event in Wisconsin, people are not really that pro snow. I know they were rubber mounted. They were rubber cling stamps. I don't know, but I have contact information for the person who made it. So I'm happy to reach out if there's something you're interested in. I don't think they were. Well, let me see. I can check quick because a lot of people were nice enough to mark things. So let me just pop over to Google Drive and I'm sure I can find that card quickly because it was a unique card. Let's see. Let me look at feeding chart attendees. That might be in folders. Oh yeah, here we go. Project info. Perfect. Let me look at my sheet. I'm sure I have this somewhere. Dog adoption, number 8. Go to number 8. Stamps. Whimsy Stamps Whimsy Stamps did the congrats on your new fur baby. The dog image is from Simon Says Stamps. And the inside stamp is from Technique Junkies. And let me, since I have this, and the paper is from Doodlebug. But I will dump this in here and oh, it's mad at me. Oh goodness. The silly 100 character limit to chatting. Um, we'll just do this twice. So those are the first two, and then the dog saying, I should have done this too. Like some people are very good at like putting in what these stamps are. So those are the stamps involved in that dog card. Um, and anyway, this one I think is all Stampin' Up stuff. I really like this deckled edge rectangle. I either need to get a trimmer or like deckled edge nesting dies at some point. But this is one of these tower cards. I made a bunch last fall. This one is a little interesting in that the base also includes one of the like tower pieces, but then it's just all gluing a bunch of pattern paper down. But the neat thing about this design is this is an A2. So this is an A2 when it's folded flat, which means assuming you don't embellish it a ton, like this all could mail for a stamp. So that one was pretty neat. I like that one a lot. I mean, I won't be using it. I won't be doing like a Christmas card for a really long time. So I don't know. I'm very much in a not winter mode right now, but like, I mean, it's nice that some people make holiday cards all year. And this is sort of the checklist they gave us, which was super nice, where you could basically, keep track of which kits you've done. Because it sort of like at the beginning it was super easy to find stuff, but I don't know. Some people stay up late and did a lot of crafting the first day. And this was one of my favorites. This is an out of print stamp, which makes me sad. Um, because this is a rubbernecker stamp, but I don't own it. But I would really like to. So if anyone sees anyone selling one of these, let me know. But very cute. Pattern paper. I did some quick coloring. The unicorn is so happy because he's so fabulous that he farts rainbows. I like this. This one was one of my favorites, and it came with gems, so you could embellish your unicorn or their farts or whatever you want. I was sad it was out of print though, or discontinued or whatever the proper word is, because like I would totally buy. I like those unicorns a lot. Oh, this one was really neat. There are a couple here that are like way grungier than I usually make cards that were a lot of fun. And I did get to try, I don't know if you can tell. I don't think you can tell on here. But the book I got to try that Wink of Stella stuff that all the Stampin' Up people are always gaga over. Um I have the Spectrum Noir like glitter pen and it's a little chunkier. The Wink of Stella is definitely more subtle. So I don't know, I might pick one up someday. But this was cool. It was basically you started with a book page, you just sort of tore it however you wanted to, and then you just have a panel on the inside. I believe the die cut I think is a Simon Says stamp one, but I just with that very naughty and dangerous sale from Spellbinders, I picked up the book stuff that was like the stamp of the month or the whatever in the club kits a couple months ago because I really like the book stuff, but I don't know. I'm not like a subscriber to things really because like I never know if I'm going to get something that I want or not. Um this one was a neat design too, except so it's just sort of a disconnected panel. The embellishment and then a very nice friend stamp, but you could do this with anything. But then you have a mirrored panel on the inside, which I liked a lot. I don't know. Just generally, there were a lot of designs I was like, oh, I'd like to make that card, but with dinosaurs versus flowers. I do need to go back through. My friend Carrie is running a challenge on florals this month over on Lynn's group. So when I'm done, I need to go back through and like find every floral card and take a picture and enter all of them. Speaking of, it's another floral card. This is similar, a little different, right? Because there's some blue naughtiness. There we go. Anyway, some ATG got stuck. But this one's cool. This is another disconnected sort of shorter panel. It's like a Z fold where you cut the part off, but I like this. Really pretty paper. It's probably Stampin' Up and it's probably discontinued, but wow, my face is doing weird things today. And Lennox is here to say hello. And Kaiser is meowing for food. 'Tis the season. Yeah, so this one was pretty neat. We could again, a lot of these were more elegant floral than my style usually is. Although, given some of the companies that made the things I won at the raffle, I might need to get more elegant. Oh, this one was cool. I modified this one a little bit. This one was really neat. So it's a matchbook. It's just a matchbook card. You make me smile. I should go back and color this a little bit. I did color the apron. There were also sentiments about whisking, which is kind of, uh, I think, what inspired the card. But it makes it a very says baked with love, and it has little. The pie is actually 3D. The It's hard to tell, but the paper actually has some like extra swoopties in addition to the cupcakes, which are a little bit sparkly. And then there was this really nice. I really like this border punch, which of course I have like 7 border punches that I never use. But I like this one. This one seems like one you could send to any like food lover. Again, probably not a style I would personally make. Like I don't know that I would necessarily do like baking as a thing, but I thought it was pretty cool. I was a I guess that sums up a lot of things. It's like I really like them, but they wouldn't have been a card I would have made on my own, so I was glad I made them there. Let's see. Oh, this is a neat one too. One's a very floral. This is what's her name? The lady who makes the Empress, Anna Griffin, I think. It's one of her die cuts that they sell on HSN, and she probably sells on her own site as well. But the cool thing about this is like the front part's held on this banner die, and then there's this secondary part that looks like a belly band, and you could actually have it like this, but it's folds out. And then, of course, sparkly cardstock, which I'm a fan of. But this one I liked a lot. This one was surprisingly that one came together really fast. I guess I'll say like all the kits that were like you don't have to do much other than assemble them, I think came together pretty quickly. I should just make a pile of all the floral cards, although there are probably more floral cards than not. Speaking of, it's a floral card. This was really cool with this hello. Again, so this is a design I think I've made. So it's a W and a V card. I think is what I saw. I want to figure out what color this is because I really this is not reading as a true color right now, but this is like let me see if I can what's with my if I can compensate my camera a little. This is reading as navy. It's actually much more of a deep teal. But, I really liked how this came out because this is black, this is deep teal. Anyway, it's a really cool neat color. I think it might be a Stampin' Up! Paper because I think they had something that was about this color. But I like, a as you may have guessed, hello is one of my favorite sentiments because then you can use the card for anything. But this WV card is pretty versatile because, again, it stands up nicely, and there are a lot of places you can use pattern paper without it being the whole thing too, which is kind of nice. So it's a really good card if you want to use up sort of pattern paper that's a little too vibrant if you wanted to make a whole card out of. This is kind of a riff on a Matchbox card as well. It's floral. They're all floral. Like we're just on a run of floral cards. This one I liked. This is cool because it's just actually double-sided pattern paper, and then it's folded up at the bottom. But this one was really neat. It had these metallic and then vellum. Let me bring it closer so you can see that little uh, leaf elements that you basically just put under the happy birthday. But um, I don't know. I didn't think of this as an idea, but I think it would be. I'm curious how this is 10, so this is probably just a yeah. This one is very paper efficient because it's just a third of a 12 by 12. So this is 12 inches unfolded and then 4 inches wide. That one's pretty neat, and it makes for a very light card. I mean, a lot of cards I liked. Um, this is a very Stampin' Up! Card made with their motorcycle. Um, you'll see another one that looks like this later, but really fun use of pattern paper. And then you have sort of your diamond, and then the sentiment is popped up on some foam tape, and then just standard inside. But I really like the weight of the Stampin' Up! Paper. There are a few other colors I want to pick up just because it's almost like an 80 pound. I mean, it might be, but this one was neat. There was an option to use a motorcycle as the main graphic, but I actually don't think I have. Well, now that I think of it, I have a couple cycling friends, but I don't have a ton of them. Let me grab some. This one's obviously a kit I have not done. Oh, some of these I've done. I just got things discombobulated. Let's see if this one actually comes with full instructions in the thing. So I will save it. Wow, somebody has done a lot of really nice organization work, but that one's definitely because that one I knew had the instructions in the kit, I just sort of left that one alone. And this is another easel. This was a gumball card. So there was some coloring and fussy cutting involved, but it was pretty cute. And then the inside sentiment says goody goody gumballs, it's your birthday. These are just like hole punches out of a bunch of different colors, so it's pretty neat. And I always like when people decorate this part of the easel because if you have it up on something, right, like you're gonna see the back. Then there's some foam tape to bump up the gumballs a little bit. Very cute. Very sort of universal birthday card too. I feel like like rainbow birthday cards are just sort of a very common thing. And this was a lot of people's favorite card actually. Um it's a so they're vellum clouds, there's this sort of watercolor paper. But the highlight was this Whimsy Stamps dinosaur on the birthday balloon. And I like how the coloring came out because I basically just used two markers. I like used like the jade green and then like the gold brown one on the horns and the belly. But thought this well and pink. But I actually have an extra vellum cloud somewhere. But I don't know. Vellum was used a lot, and I have a ton of it and never use it. So I feel like maybe this year I should do a little bit more vellum. I'll say floral and cute were definitely the most common things. But this card was very grungy, and I just thought it was cool. So it's this watercolor butterfly, and then underneath there's a book page that's distressed, but the butterfly is popped up on foam dots, so you can basically like bend these wings a little bit, like if you were. You can see how that this looks. So like once it's out of an envelope, you can kind of bend the wings close to the body, and you have a really neat dimensional look, but it'll fold flat. And then this is just some wire. I think these are all actually Michael's products, with the exception of the book page. And this is the same stamp. The top one was heat embossed. I think you can see that. And then it was just like randomly watercolored. So um, actually, I'll put her link down below. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you can take pictures. I didn't think of that. Like you can take pictures on your phone as well of instructions. But I don't know. The woman who made this card has a YouTube channel and does a lot of art journaling. Name is Lisa Thrill, but I'll put you a comment in this live stream once it's done if you're interested. She does some really neat stuff that's very grungy, kind of in the same vein. Well, not the same vein, but it reminds me a lot of T's work. But um, she's much more art journaling as opposed to like more of a card maker. But anyway. It was very cool. This is another neat one. Fun little happy lady with her cupcake. But this one is cool in that you use a piece of paper to disconnect this, and then it's a book fold. Um, I do have a mini whisk that you can basically punch holes and then tie the mini whisk on with ribbon to basically. If you look at these, it's these. This is a fun embossing folder that says "Eat Cake" and all that stuff. But I like this idea of using paper as like a ribbon substitute. And then this is actually obviously to do this attachment, this is two of the same die cut that you just sandwiched together. So I thought that was cool. I forget if this is a sentiment. Yeah. Whisking you a happy birthday. And they said that the whisk you can actually fold flat and then put this in an oversized envelope and get away with it. But um, I thought it was a cute idea, but I don't know that I would like mail somebody. I probably have it here somewhere. Somewhere in my box it exists. But I actually have I have extra pieces. I don't know how many cards I actually have left. Oh, we have a few. That's an empty bag. That's an empty bag. That's an empty bag. Oh, this was one of my favorites. Yeah. I was surprised how many people put measurements. I think I did in my instructions too. But I thought it was pretty cool. This is a really nice this one's interesting. So the card base is white, but then the 2 purple sections are actually lifted up, and my cats are running around. So actually the pattern paper is inset. I think these are Stampin' Up! Like, this is pattern paper, I think that was die cut. Really nice with the grape and the, like, corally color, and then the inside is just the inside. I saved all the nice envelopes. Some of these came in, like, really nice project envelopes. Mine just came in, like, a card bag, which also was fairly common. Um This was one of the other Christmas cards. It involves some not great fussy cutting on my part, but the letters and the presents are popped up on foam tape, so it gives you kind of it's a nice sort of male themed card. I mean, not like male MAIL, not male like the gender. Um, but very cute. This was a stamp that I colored, and then these were sort of partial stamps of the same thing. Then they this was the inside was pre stamped. Actually, it was all pre-stamped, but, again, it'll go in my Christmas stash for sure. I liked how I wasn't sure about it because 'cause I'm not, like, the world's most awesome colorist, but, I liked how it came out. I think because of, like, this wood paper, I think it looks like it should be a little more homey, and it definitely has that feel with imperfect coloring. Oh, I like that as well. I wanna try that technique on other stuff because I think it's really repeatable. Um, my mother's probably favorite card because it has dragonflies. It's got this really neat cut and embossing, like, front piece to it. Because I think this is a cut and emboss folder of some sort, although I don't recognize it, but it probably is in the, description. And then this is adhered on top of some pattern paper that has this watercolory vibe. Very cute. Again, nothing major in the inside, but I do like a nice thank you card. Um And I really like a lot of people use this ink edging technique, which I'm usually too lazy to do, but I thought the ink edging was very pretty in a lot of cases. And this is a pretty straightforward. This one is a nice straightforward happy birthday with there had different ribbons. I kind of like the like seafoam. Well, it's deeper than a seafoam, but sort of a seafoam green one. So the happy birthday has popped up. This is, just sort of a standard mat and then a pattern paper one, but still makes a really solid card, which I like quite a bit. And then this one was interesting. 'Cause I've never used cork on a card before, but this one used cork, which I thought was a pretty interesting material. The bicycle die cut was all the die cutting was done for us, so it was mostly just assembling. But like the taller mountains are a book page, and then the shorter mountains are cork. So it really made kind of an interesting look. And then it's just normal on the inside. I did pop up the inside of the sun and the happy retirement. If we have friends who are retiring, I guess I have a card for that now. But I thought it was pretty cute. I liked how much dimension, but it also has kind of like because of the way the rainbow and the sun go together. I don't know. It had sort of a fun, like kid vibe to me. And the cats are displeased about something or just causing chaos. Oh, this one was super neat. This was actually made by one of my table mates. Um, it has a really nice sentiment and stamp, both out of print, unfortunately. I like the pouty little girl. It came out pretty well. Life is unfair, and it's not fair that life's unfair, but, very nice straightforward card. But a good one. I feel like as an adult, we all need more cards like this. Bye, Linda. And this was an interesting one, utilizing brads and tearing paper, which I don't do, but this is a very Stampin' Up! Card as well. Knighted Navy, and I don't know what color this is, but they had a nautical stamp set. I forget if it was this year or before then, but it's a nice card. The card itself is a top folder or a side folder, I mean, and then you had sort of some other sea creaturey stamps. There you can see that. I thought it came out pretty good. I liked all the dimension, and I like sort of this torn element with like the lighthouse. So I don't know. So sending good vibes your way, which again is I like that as a sentiment too, just because it's like you have a there are a lot of people I could send that to. And then this was a neat one. It's hard to tell. Maybe it's really hard to tell because of the black, but this is a sort of confetti embossed panel. It's not really reading on camera at all. But then these are just all die cuts. They were pre-die cut, but it did require a lot of paper piecing. But it's a really nice happy card, so I thought that one was. It was built as a card you could do while you're waiting for other cards because basically all the pieces were ready to go. I'm curious, Pam, does Stampaway have like a shoebox swap kind of thing? I know that you were talking to somebody about some event, and I assumed it was Stampaway, which of course everybody at my event had heard of or been to. This was my favorite card of the Mingle. I just thought it was I liked the like juxtaposition of like this all this stuff is Stampin' Up product, but the I think it's a Whimsy stamp actual stamp, but I thought it was cute. Here's to age, and those of us who never show it. Great birthday sentiment for almost anybody. So those are empty, and I think these are all kits. This is a kit. This is not a kit. This is not a kit. This is not a kit. I lied. These are all finished. I got more cards down than I thought. This one is a kit that I haven't done, and this was a fun little bonus. Um, Somebody had some leftover like layers and mats, so we got through these mini kits where you have the white mat and then a colored mat. So I think these will be fun to make cards out of. It's great to have like just a starting place for cards sometimes. So that'll go in my sort of up next pile. Oh, that's cool. You should. It's a lot of fun. I know I had a blast with mine, and it's a floral card. But this one was really interesting. It was a really fun shaped card. I think this must be a die that just creates this card base from somebody. But it says "You brighten my day." There's some blinging on it, and then it just has a big flower on it. All these pieces were ready to go, so this one went together fast. But I really like this big flower, and I don't really do a lot of like die cut flowers on my stuff, but I don't know this. The mingle is kind of convincing me that I should do more die cut flowers because they look really pretty. This was one of my favorites. I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but this one was pretty neat. It's got this really cool metallic pattern paper and then just an inset piece. But the thing that's neat is like this panel was embossed with a wood embossing folder. Oh, that's not coming through on camera at all. There you can kind of see it. Um, and then the deer was pretty easy to stamp. I think I got the deer stamped on the first try. It was a well conditioned rubber stamp. But I like this one a lot. It came with a very fancy 5x7 envelope for some reason, even though the card is A2. So I will save that. Oh, this is the other one of the deer cards with the original look with the blue. I like it a lot with the pattern paper. So anyway, that one I did make there. And then this one I'll probably send to Kendra because her son just graduated. But it says, "Congrats on your graduation." I metallic the crown that the guinea pigs were wearing, but it's a guinea pig parade basically. Very straightforward card. Did involve a lot of coloring. I probably should have saved the color. This was one a lot of people saved because Like basically once you stamped and die cut the sentiment, the rest of it was just coloring. So it was one some folks saved for later. And then this one was really ingenious because it's a circle die and an ice cream punch, and somehow it turned into Pac-Man. So you have the eye. This one's black. These are white. Um, you could punch little dots. I just did these with glazed pens, but says you're retro. Very cute. I think this was a Stampin' Up stamp set, but I like that one quite a bit too. Um, what else do we have? Oh, this one was one of the Christmas cards. I sort of misstamped the red part of the truck, but then I just sort of filled it in with colored pencil. It worked out fine. Very cute. Again, kind of like the cards we looked at the top, where it's a flat card with a smaller inset card, which really makes for a cool look. And I think the last one I have to show you tonight, 'cause I've been chit-chattering for an hour or so. Maybe, no, I have a couple others. Okay. Let me just see what I have scrapped. I think these are card. These are scrap. This one I haven't finished yet because it has some coloring, but I'll show it to you. Um oh, this goes with the happy birthday. This also goes. These are the instructions for happy birthday and some random white pieces. But this happy birthday card is the last one I'll show you, but this one this one has a lot of coloring on it, so whoop, I'm just losing things all over the floor. So we have a sentiment and we have some pink. But these two pieces need coloring, and basically they're gonna sit on top. Like these are gonna be popped up like that. Once I finish the card, and there's some pattern paper to use on the inside, I believe. And then there's a little table that says vitamin, which basically you can use this to make this look more like more like a cakey kind of thing. Anyway, I might have mixed up two kits. Let's see what this is. Oh, I did mix up two kits. Go me. That makes sense because the coloring goes with this kit. This is the other one, which goes together like that. And the sentiment probably all goes here. That makes sense. That's why we have two envelopes. But I will put them back together in this guy. If I can find the top. Here we go. But this pink coral is a really neat color. It's actually got oh, you can see it on camera. It's got some fairly subtle stars, which is pretty neat. And this happy birthday card is very straightforward, but the cool part is that you basically got all four of these papers and cut four of them. So basically the person who made it included some extra embellishments for the other three cards that you can make with the remaining pieces of paper. So I thought that was a cool thing. And we might do that sometime soon. The card bases weren't included, but um, they all lay out exactly the same. It's just the embellishments that are different. Embellishments is the wrong word. The focal point is different. So I think that's all the projects I made. Oh, that's a lie. There is one more that's not done yet. I think hiding. There's a no, I could be wrong. Um, somewhere I have a bear themed card that is there as well. But anyway, Thanks for hanging out, Pam. I appreciate it. Uh, yeah, I do like that she provided stuff to make a whole bunch of different cards, so that was pretty fun. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. I won't be live until Saturday, which is, I don't know, 2 days from now. But always fun to do a little midweek thing, and I'll talk to you later. And if you have any thoughts or if there's any cards or products you have questions on, I other than the dog one, I probably have instructions on how to make them all. And most of them have like product links. So anyway, thanks much. Hope you have a good one. And oh oh yay! I'm glad you had fun making the bookmark. I still have a bunch of trade cards. I may do maybe next week I'll do a pop up, or I probably won't do it Sunday because people like seeing projects, and we like to keep Sunday kind of a project day. But I have a bunch of trade cards that we can look at and decide which ones we'll case. Anyway, nice to see you guys. Have a good one, and talk to you all later.